For those who are injured, we pray for a quick recovery. Those especially who are injured were rushed to Mulago Hospital. So just in case you know someone who is looking for their relative who was on that road around that time, they were rushed to Mulago Hospital. But I mean, life happens. During such a season, we need to really be mindful. We need to take care of ourselves. You need to know that your next neighbor is not as a careful driver as you are. So please be on the lookout, not just for yourself, but look out for the person next to you and how they're driving so that you take care of yourself. And if you're using a bike, please tell these boys, if they're riding poorly or badly, tell them you want to get off, because at the end of the day, your life matters. Well, let's see how the team is doing this Friday morning, and hopefully they're in a much better mood. Good morning, JP Live.
Yes, good morning. How are you doing today?
I'm well. Just still trying to get myself into the Friday mood.
You did mention something about the Nambole area, and when you look at this entire week, we've been reporting, certain accidents. Some of them were not as fatal as this particular one, but you get to realize that the accidents are actually happening in this particular festive season. I don't know whether it's due to lack of patience by the drivers, or whether it's poor driving itself, or whether it's because of the issues with the vehicles. A lot is happening, and as we normally caution the viewers to always be very careful while using the roads, because when you look at that particular accident, it did not only take those driving, let's say, passenger service vehicles, or those who are driving their own vehicles, but it also destroyed borders. So it does seem like once an accident does occur, it is definitely going to take everyone. Yes. Exactly. And besides that, there was a lot of traffic at the end of it all. And today morning, Wumeme also did a thing. There was a blackout, so you wonder why.
But remember the moment there is a small threat for rain.
It definitely does its thing. So, but
someone is also standby on the switch to switch off certain areas, especially in Nigeria.
Wow. It is really sad anyway for a Friday morning, and we continue to wish quick recovery for those who made it out alive in that particular incident. But as of now, to all the other viewers, good morning, and we're wishing you a good Friday as you are attacking the weekend that does look like it's never ending till the 31st.
And I was having a conversation this morning with someone who said usually during such times people are really looking for money left, right and center, and the other challenge is that they barely do the proper servicing for these cars, and that is why we tend to have these accidents happening. Someone is looking for money for the family and whoever else needs money for the festive season, so they can't spare enough money to do the proper repairs and servicing and maintenance for their cars, and that is one of the contributing factors, and that is why we see a number of accidents during such a time. Olive Monica Najuma.
Yes, please.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Can I describe your look in one word?
Please.
In 2 words.
Please.
If it's 1 word or 2 words, cowgirl.
Oh, wow.
It looks like the cowgirl.
Only missing the hat.
Clearly.
She's giving us Isabella Royal vibes.
Yes.
Mexico, Mexico kind of vibe this morning. Yes.
Well, when it rains, that's the time when you either pull out your trench coat or your boots. So today I decided to pull out my boots because for some reason the weather is very unexplainable. You will wake up in the morning, the sky looks bright, and then at around 11 or even 8 a.m. it starts raining. Heavily.
I love trench coats because I have something on my bucket list because of trench coats.
You and me both.
Jerome Paul, please do not do that.
I don't want to describe it also in one word because
red in the mix. Trench coat and then the color red, but let's continue.
I highly recommend. We continue.
But good morning, dear viewers. I hope that you had a beautiful night, and on this Friday morning, I hope that you have only nice and happy thoughts, and of course, happy plans. JB Live said that Friday it starts the weekend that will only end on 31st December, and I agree to that because
for the 5 weekends that we
So this is the second weekend of December, and I'm curious about the plans that you have, but whatever plans you do have, one thing remains clear: you need to be vigilant on the road. My colleagues have shared about the accident that happened yesterday in Nambole, and it was so sad to see. It was so hard to hear the voices of people in some of these cars that were affected, especially the people in the taxi screaming in pain and for help. So we need to be really vigilant. Yesterday on Good Morning Uganda, we had a gentleman coming from Country View Driving School, and he said most people do not check their cars. He even gave us a formula where he said check the body, check under the car, check to see that everything is okay before you drive your car in the morning when you're leaving your home. But how many of us are doing that? We really need to be vigilant. And also, like Chantal said, let's have these cars checked out, let's do service, let's make sure they're in good form, because honestly there are people who don't even do service.
I could even ask some, especially the ladies, when was the last time you checked just for the coolant of the car? You get it?
Yes.
The moment you ask them, what's that? They know it's either their boyfriend who checks, or those who are not really passionate about taking care of cars like that, because we think it's just washing and cleaning inside. No, check. You need to check for the coolants and all these. I don't want to go through the whole process of what needs to be checked on a car, but the point is, please, maintenance for your cars is really important. While you are opting for convenience, at the end of the day, your life has to be put first. And well, it doesn't make sense for you to drive that car when it's not safe, and then you end up, the money you would have, the little you would have spent on the car, you're spending it in hospitals in months. So think about it.
That's if your life is still there.
Thank you.
To spend on, and also the after effects of an accident. Sometimes you never heal. Sometimes you're going to have a broken leg or legs, or you may be wheelchair bound. Yes. So we need to really think about all of these things when we're on the roads, because there are no spare parts for our bodies. And Uganda Police Force says that around this time, many motorists are I don't know, like they're indisciplined on the road, and they make so many careless mistakes that could actually be avoided.
Right. Thank you so much for being part of this show and for being with us Monday to Friday. We run 6:30 in the morning till 9 a.m. And well, being a Friday, a lot is lined up, and we have a band coming through. We're going to be unwinding, trying to take your mind away from the sorrow of the accidents, especially for those that have people that were involved in the accident. We continue to say we are with you and we feel for you, and we pray that you get over this, especially during such a season that is supposed to be merry-making season. Well, let's first check and see what is happening on the local scene, aside from the accident, of course, on the local scene in our country.
Well, we will start with the Teacher Awards. First Lady, also Minister for Education and Sports, Janet Kataha Museveni, has urged stakeholders in the education sector to join hands in motivating and honoring exceptional work of teachers. The minister was officiating at the 2023 Teachers Making a Difference Awards initiative organized by Vision Group. She says this kind of initiative attracts people towards the teaching profession. And moving on, an unknown gunman suspected to belong to the Allied Democratic Forces ADF raided Bududa Farm Garden in Ngoko village in Chiswamba sub-county of Kasese district. According to the police spokesperson, Rwenzori East Region, the assailants, suspected to be 5 in number, killed one Betty Bira and injured her nephew, a 14-year-old Harrison Masereka. Bira, together with other locals, camped in the area to chase away birds from destroying their already harvested rice. The locals erected temporary grass-thatched houses, but the rest have deserted the area following the attack. Masereka narrated that he escaped from the assailants after injuring him on the head and managed to run away from them and dashed to Ngoko Trading Center, about 3 kilometers from the scene of crime. Masereka is currently nursing 3 deep wounds on his head from St. Mary's Hospital in Kasese town. Yofes Katenene, the Chiswamba sub-county chairperson, revealed that the assailants also abducted one Aston Agaba, while James Tembo and Julius Biarhanga escaped from the jaws of abduction when they ran away from the suspected rebels. In more news, the Inspectorate of Government has emphasized that lifestyle audits are essential for apprehending suspects who misuse taxpayers' money, leading to substandard service delivery to citizens. She asserts that the syndicated form of corruption emanating from the Ministry of Finance has affected government accountability. She stated that her office has so far recovered about 29 billion and investigated over 1,500 cases of corruption. She made these remarks while delivering a joint community address with other agencies, including CID, PPDA, FIA, and the State House Anti-Corruption Unit. And lastly, Uganda Alcohol Industry Association has met with the executive on matters concerning the recently reintroduced Alcoholic Drinks Control Bill that seeks to regulate the manufacture, importation, sale, and consumption of alcohol in the country. The bill also includes a restriction on business hours for the dealers in alcohol. On the 14th of November 2023, Toro District Member of Parliament Sarah Opendi reintroduced the Alcoholic Drinks Control Bill. In the face of the proposed legislation, members of the Uganda Alcohol Industry Association have sought audience with the executive on the matter. They warn that if the law is passed as is, the consequences will be dire not only to the sector players but the economy at large. The consultative meeting at the Ministry of Finance was co-chaired by Evelyn Anite, the State Minister for Investment, and David Bahati, the State Minister for Industry. Recent statistics show that members of the Uganda alcohol industry contribute about 35% of the national tax base, a contribution that cannot be taken for granted, says the State Minister for Investment. Well, that's it for the local news stories.
Thank you so much, Oli, for the reports. Now we cross over and check what is happening on the international scene, gathering from not very many parts, but of course the essential stories that you might want to follow up with. Well, we start with the U.S. now. Federal prosecutors have filed tax charges against Hunter Biden in a new criminal case against the U.S. president's son. The indictment alleges he engaged in a 4-year scheme to not pay at least $1.4 million in self-assessed federal taxes he owed for tax years 2016 through 2019. The 9 charges include failure to file and pay taxes, false tax returns, and evasion of assessment. Hunter Biden was indicted in September on federal firearm charges in Delaware. President Joe Biden's 53-year-old son has already pleaded not guilty in the gun case. The White House is not commenting on the new charges. Department of Justice Special Counsel David Weiss has been investigating Hunter Biden's alleged criminal conduct since 2019. Federal prosecutors allege Hunter Biden spent millions of dollars on an extravagant lifestyle rather than paying his tax bills. Moving on, Prince Harry wants his children to feel at home in the UK, but they cannot if it's not possible to keep them safe, the High Court has heard. Calling the UK his home, the Duke of Sussex said it was with great sadness that he and his wife Meghan felt forced to leave the country in 2020. He is challenging the Home Office over a decision to downgrade his security protection when visiting. The government says his claim should be dismissed. The court is considering the changes to publicly funded protection when Prince Harry stopped being a working royal in early 2020. After stepping back, he moved to the US, where he lives with his wife and their 2 children, Archie and Elizabeth. The committee The committee that arranges security for members of the royal family and other VIPs, known as RAVEC, decided in 2020 that Prince Harry would no longer have the automatic level of security for senior royals. Now, coming back to East Africa, some Tanzanians have expressed concern over the whereabouts of Vice President Philip Mpango, who has not been seen in public for over a month. He was due at a science conference on Wednesday in Arusha, but was instead represented by a cabinet minister. His disappearance from public view has sparked rumor about his health, but Prime Minister Kassim Majaliwa has warned against such speculation, saying the vice president was out of the country for official duties. This is not the first time there have been rumors about the state of the vice president's health. Before becoming vice president, Mr. Mpango, 66, had served as finance minister under the previous president, John Magufuli, who died in office in March 2021. A month earlier, during the COVID-19 pandemic, Mr. Mpango appeared at a news conference in the capital, Dodoma, to deny a rumor that he himself had died. He coughed several times as he paid tribute to senior government officials who had passed away. Now, speaking matters climate. Ongoing catastrophic rains in Eastern Africa have been worsened by human-caused climate change that made them up to 2 times more intense, an international team of climate scientists said yesterday. Now, the analysis comes from World Weather Attribution, a group of scientists who examined whether and to what extent human-induced climate change has altered the likelihood and magnitude of an extreme weather event. Hundreds of people have died and millions more have been affected since the rains began in October. October to December is a short rains season in Eastern Africa, with the frequency and intensity of the rains influenced by 2 naturally occurring climate phenomena, El Nino Southern Oscillation and Indian Ocean Dipole, which this year have both shaped up to increase the likelihood of heavy rainfall. That is it for climate news and what is happening across different parts of the world. Well, let's cross over and see what is happening in today's dailies with Durham Paul.
Now, the New Vision highlights thugs attack NRM treasury at home. 2 stolen guns recovered and security probes robbery. That is at the front page of today's New Vision. Then also security tight ahead of the Toto Children's Festival. Uganda is set to start producing electric car batteries. An interesting report with the New Vision today. Then also Uganda's outstanding teachers honored. There's also a pictorial of those teachers who are honored. There's the First Lady honoring these particular teachers at the front page of the New Vision today. Now, corruption, more companies suspended as government recovers 66 billion Ugandan shillings. And not only that, teachers pay Chambogo appeals for wage increase. That is with the New Vision this morning. Then furthermore, the Daily Monitor, why 60 billion Ugandan shillings HIV jab search failed. Read between the lines in here with the Daily Monitor. Now, the Scoop magazine, up close with Katelea and Kando. Read about the musical duo. Then there are quite a number of job opportunities in Total, Unok and the like, still with the Daily Monitor today. Now, in the other news, 2 people killed and 3 injured in the Nambole accident as night raid on home by gunmen shakes Kasese. The Daily Monitor also highlights that the alcohol bill could push 1.3 million out of jobs, says the brewers, as the story of Chambogo's best female student. Read about it in the Daily Monitor today. One Africa. The Kusi Ideas Festival kicks off in Botswana. Victoria of the delegates that made it to the Kusi Ideas Festival 2023. Well, that's it for our press review. Later on, we shall as well be looking at what is making headlines across the East African region.
Thank you so much, John Paul. Now, guess what? We'll be taking a very short break. Don't go away. Like I said, we do have the band already in the house and also, of course, great conversations that we'd like you to be a part of. Please do stay with us.
Live from UPC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Topic of the day on UBC.
One-on-one with Michael Jordan Lukomwa.
A weekly face-to-face conversation focusing on accountability, inspiration, information, and sensitization of the public from the various sources, such as inspirational profiles.
Having a disability is not inability.
Every Friday 9 p.m., it's one-on-one with Michael Jordan Lukomwa.
Don't you see anywhere that you would give a credit in the fight against COVID?
My role as the owner of the country is not to, be preoccupied by giving credit to my servant.
We have said that if we are to talk to General Museveni, there must be certain conditions in place.
Is it true that you paid 5 million shillings to MPs that voted for?
Was brought to you by MTN Momo Pay is the easy way to pay. Dial *165*3# or use the MTN Momo app. You don't need cash. MTN Momo Pay is safe and free.
Junko. Yo. Check the shopping, man. What's your secret?
Haven't you heard of the parish development model PDM?
Yes, I did, but I thought it was just a talk.
No, Sebatia. It is real. I and a few friends together formed a circle, accessed money from the PDM, invested in a poultry project, and now things are moving.
Junko. I thought I was one of your friends.
You are.
But you left me behind.
I didn't leave you in poverty. What you do, just visit your LC2 chairperson and your parish chief and start the process of economic transformation. Just like that. The parish development model is an initiative from the government of Uganda through the Ministry of Local Government designed to transform all lives of Ugandans for the better. PDM, my parish, my development, my life.
Nze Kagoya Manjeri nga ina emyaka 35 nafunaku esente okuva mu myoga sako danambaku bampaku emiliyoni ndala yanambaku okusobola okweyiza engulu kubanga nalindirire mu bizinensi kubanga ebintu ebyanina nali ngangwire n'amazima nga bizinensi eweremu amaanyi aye akasente ke basobola okumpaaku ak'emiliyoni endala kansobozesa okusobola okwizaamu ebintu mu bizinensi danamba kale tusiime ino obuyambi bwemmwe okusinziira bwe nayongeramu ebintu nasobola okweyambaku mu mbeera eya buliido ng'okulya kwebeza okusasula ku bills nga bintu byenkozesa wano ng'amasanalaze n'ebindi ng'omuntu obulamu bwolina obutambuza mwebale ino mulebalingirana.
This plan, as the name prescribes, is the project for restoration of livelihood in northern region. So it was designed to support the population in order to implement the national programs of wealth creation, improving household income, and this is done through supporting agriculture. And by supporting agriculture, you support seed production, training of farmers, mindset change, and even it went ahead to have components of food security grants, whereby families were given grants to be able to improve their food security. But there was also community-based natural resources grants, which were given to families to put in place woodlots, which would help them to reduce on clearing the vegetation and deforestation, looking for energy or for firewood.
UBC is the national public broadcaster. We educate, inform, entertain, and inspire our audiences. You can watch us on free-to-air channel 001, DSTV channel 282, GoTV channel 371, Star Times channel 201, Zuku TV channel 20, and Azam TV channel 350. Even when your subscription expires, you can still watch UBC for free on your pay TV platforms.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala. This is Good Morning Uganda.
Thank you so much for being with us and for staying with us. You are still watching Good Morning Uganda, Friday special on UBC television. My name is Chantal Olive Akanida. It's a Friday. And the energy for Friday is usually high, just that sometimes what happens off air does not get to your eyes. But the energy is usually high. The band is setting up. We are getting excited because, I mean, it's just remembering that we have 5 weekends of this month. Okay, to the second we are doing, but 3 more to go. I am excited, and I'm also looking forward to the Christmas week especially. And also Christmas is on a Monday. And for some people that work all through, except us who are going to be on air, it's good news because Christmas being on Monday, my friend, that is something, it's more like a public holiday being on a Friday or on a Monday. You know what I'm talking about. Well, this very moment we are going to be diving into a conversation that we would like you to be a part of, and well, we are still going through the 16 days of activism against gender-based violence, and to be specific, against women and girls. And today's conversation is going to be centered on the fact that when you talk about gender-based violence, the first thing that comes to your mind is women and girls. And of course, there has been these conversations on why is it majorly centered on girls and women. And well, we're going to be exploring that. There is, of course, some will cite unfairness, but it has where it's coming from. And well, that is the discussion we are going to be having. And of course, because the reports that are available are centered more on women and girls, hopefully, if, God forbid, if we get to see more reports on men, maybe even bigger initiatives will also come out to be able to support the men. But we cannot disregard the fact that not gender-based violence, we can't disregard the fact that violence is everywhere, and both men and women suffer the consequences of violence. Now, this morning, we do request that you share your opinion on why gender-based violence activism is majorly focused on women and girls. So in your opinion, what do you think? Why do you think it is centered on women and girls? At the end of the day, much as you're feeling like maybe men are not included in here, or there is that conversation that is not being put out, why do you think it is majorly centered around women and girls? And well, Sonko, you have siblings, you have sisters, you have aunties, you know, you have the girls in the community, the little ones. I have a feeling you also play for the kids, and they probably like you. So the question would be, why do we seem to have major emphasis when it comes to gender-based violence on women and girls?
Well, I think the main emphasis is because they are more vulnerable, according to how we perceive, by the look of things, how we perceive it.
If I hadn't let you complete your statement.
You would have thought, huh?
Yeah, because they are more vulnerable.
Yeah, they are more vulnerable.
But they are.
And even when you look at, they are.
More vulnerable to domestic violence.
No, they are more
when you look at,
generally.
than the men.
Isn't it about time? Okay, for the kids, yes, but isn't it about time?
Women.
No, even the women, when you look at certain things that do happen in life, you realize they're more vulnerable. And most of the men are also groomed to perceive it that way, or to treat women as vulnerable as they are. So that means that is where the respect has to come in, and how you handle them. So the mere fact that we always center gender-based violence to women and girls is, one, because they're vulnerable. Then also, two, is when you look at society as well, how at times society tends to look at women, or how it tends to treat women in most areas. Why am I bringing it into the society approach? You look at the African narrative, for example, in a world like ours, where we do have a lot of traditional practices or cultural norms that are still being respected. You get to realize that at times women are subjected to violence simply because the cultures are supportive of them. And such narratives at the end of it all are violent, but we tend you know, to cover it up because it is culturally accepted. So at the end of it all, you do realize that in most cases, because we do not have a lot of focus on how men have been violently, have actually faced violence like the women in most cases. Because at times there is a way, when you look at most of the cases, even with the reports or statistics from UBOS, they clearly show you that 68% of the cases of gender-based violence are entirely going to the girl child. Or it's like these cases are reported that the violence has actually occurred onto the female gender. So, which clearly shows you that the more we have these conversations, it clearly shows why we have our attention going towards the boys, rather going towards the girls and the women.
Right. Thank you so much, John Paul. Olive,
yes,
I would pose the same question to you. Why do we have this conversation majorly centered on the ladies or the women and the girls?
Well, like Sonko put it, they are more vulnerable. But even going away from vulnerability, we have, for instance, in our society, let's say here in Uganda, most of the girls and women are really helpless when it comes to certain things, especially those that are ingrained deeply in culture. For instance, we have issues like bride price, where you do not decide your bride price, but your uncles or your father and his brothers are going to do that for you. Even when it's you who found a man yourself and you take him home, they are going to decide that for you. And we have seen reports indicating that some husbands are abusing their wives because they say, I paid for you. Exactly. That's why in some societies where bride price is a very big issue, like in Kenya, they have actually been, activists have been trying to advocate for bride price to be taken away because women are being abused on the pretext of bride price. Okay? And of course, when we look at young girls, if earlier we were debating on whether girls are vulnerable or even women in general. In actual sense, even when a woman is, let's say, a wrestler, let's say you have John Cena and another female
Becky
wrestler.
Lynch.
Exactly. This lady may not actually beat John Cena. That's why she will be wrestling a fellow woman, and John Cena will be wrestling maybe Dwayne Johnson, The Rock. Why? Because the energies are different. A woman could maybe beat a man via skill. How is she trained? Can she, maybe she has karate skills and whatnot. But if there is no skill and it is just chani chagundi, just beating each other like in self-defense, in most cases, a man is going to win. That's why when there is violence, when a woman is fighting with a man, in most cases, she will just use an object to defend herself because she doesn't have the physical strength to beat a man or even a boy. I mean, I once told someone a story of when the one time I ever fought with a boy. I think I was like 12 and this boy was like 10 and he beat me hands down. What am I trying to say? Girls are weaker. Are weaker than men.
I want to ask certain questions, but
please, you'll ask off air.
Yeah, I think I'll take that.
Yeah. So because of that, we choose, or activism chooses to focus mainly on girls and women, not because we are choosing to negate that boys are being affected or men are being abused, but like Sonko shared, we have 68% of women in Uganda alone being affected by gender-based violence or partner-inflicted violence, which is way beyond the global 23%. Imagine those numbers. So there is no way you're going to say that, oh, why aren't you focusing on men? The men are there, but also the other problem is this. Where women report that they're being abused, men do not report. And there is stigma against men when they try to speak out about violence. And because of that, probably the numbers we know are way lower because men are not reporting. But the people who are fighting for girls and women, you cannot tell them to stop and focus elsewhere. We need men to come up and start fighting for the boy child.
And you know, even the worry is the society is patriarchy driven. where when you look at some of, for example, the rules or let's say the practices are highly in favor of men, if I am to say. For example, when you look at also, because violence actually goes way beyond the physical part of it, there's also an element where women, even when you look at the inheritance part of it, for example, you do realize that there are some women who are completely denied the chance of inheritance.
Yes, just because of
they
their
are.
gender.
Exactly. So besides also that, the part of inheritance, you also look at, let's say, polygamy. In the African setting, at times not all women would feel comfortable being in a marriage where the man has quite a number of others, or let's say other concubines in the same space. But because the patriarchy, society, or patriarchy-driven society makes it look like it is always the man who is supposed to be having the majority share exactly of the same. So whether the woman is happy with it, she has to accept it. Happy or unhappy. Even when you look at the Buganda, in the Buganda tradition, you will realize the aunties, or what we call the sengas, would actually prepare a woman for marriage, reminding them that a man at any one moment is going to bring in a co-wife.
And so put water in your mouth.
Exactly. So you're going in there, whether you like it or not, it is already tormenting you. So you already have that trauma that there is going to be someone coming in.
But you're expected to accept it and take it in. And speaking of that, Sonko, to add more to your point, when we speak about gender-based violence, it's not just punches and beatings. We have types of gender-based violence. We have the marriage-related violence because, for instance, I think last week, we're talking about early child marriages. Okay, so we have these girls, in most cases, are helpless. Your relatives, your parents, they sell you off. I call that selling because if a girl is underage and she has not chosen to get married and you're sending her off into marriage because you're getting dowry, for me that is a trade. Okay, so we have that. Then we have financial abuse where some women will make the money and the husbands will take the money. I know a friend whose husband used to own her ATM card. She makes the money is deposited on the 24th, he goes to the ATM and wipes out the entire account. True story, yes. And then there are others
But that is love, maybe.
Sonko, really? And then there are others who are not even allowed to work. Imagine you take your child to school, she goes to school, and then she gets really married. She had goals and dreams. Then she gets married and the husband tells her, my wife cannot work. That is abuse, in my opinion.
Then there's the one I've been waiting for, the emotional one, the mental one, where someone doesn't have to lay their hands on you like you put it, but just the words they throw at you, it's a slap enough, it's a blow enough, and that's the commonest and the hardest to even explain.
The worry is that one is going now both ends. The emotional part is that however much even the men are really so good at it, but also the women are also so good when it comes to the emotional abuse with the words and actions.
The men are good at it, but the women are so good.
Oh no, it is reported that women abuse men most emotionally.
Because they can't go physical like the men will do. So it is just more of the emotional part where you have to get into his brains and torment him in ways he cannot control. Exactly. So the more you make him inferior, you're tormenting him. He becomes less of himself the more. And it's more like you're lowering his esteem at a time. So women are so good at it. However good men are, women are so good at it.
So if the men have a bachelor's, the women have a master's.
But you see, the woman, and someone will say Olive is defending women because she's a woman. The woman probably has that one tool in her arsenal, whereas the man has a punch, has a kick, has authority, has the overall power of if you decide to go and work,
even society is backing. Even society is backing him.
They are backing him of, you need to listen to your husband. You know, sometimes you've had vows where the woman is supposed to submit, but the husband is supposed to rule over her.
Yes, to foster the submission.
Okay.
Well, the conversation on submission, honestly, we said this yesterday, submission comes naturally.
Yes, where the man is doing
where the man is doing what he's supposed to be doing, submission comes naturally. But I would love to look at the fact that much as we are putting the conversation on the girl child and women, shouldn't we now look at the contributing factors or the contribution of women to gender-based violence?
Against the opposite gender?
No, against themselves.
Well, I think we may not say that they are.
It may not be intentionally.
Yes,
but there are factors. I mean.
No, let me also give you the very first example. Like I did mention of, the polygamy issue. This is something that is, highly recognized in the African society.
Right.
First off, and it is when you look at certain cultures, not all women. I would say this: not all women would sit very happy in a marriage where they know they have a co-wife.
That's me inclusive.
Okay. Now, when you look at that, in most cases, it's not even about them, but according to the way society is put up, they will get into marriage knowing there is someone coming in.
Can we
so
put
it's
a
more
distinction
like
to according to the way African society?
Yes, I actually said African society. So when you look at it that way, at times they are getting into the marriage space, knowing so much that even though you've made marriage vows in church at the altar, at the back of your mind, you know,
it rains everywhere.
It does. So even your colleagues will tell you.
That is the phrase I hate the most.
So when you look at the fact that once, for example, the husband starts the cheating in marriage, you'll actually go to your colleagues. At times you hear women say, now that is where your aunties will say, now marriage has started. Now the mere fact that has actually been encrypted into their minds and normalized by even their female, mentors.
Female elders, yes.
Exactly. So that clearly shows you that is something they are meant to accept, whether they like it or not. And that is, again, something that you may blame them for accepting, but again, they have less power to control that level of patriarchy.
You know, the reason as to why I asked this question is the fact that while there is gender-based violence, the women are not the ones hitting themselves. That man is involved. But as we are involving that man, the question is, like the saying goes, it takes two to tango. So at what point does the woman make the mistake that leads to gender-based violence, and what are the contributing factors before we even look at what the man contributes? The other thing I would look at would be, as you're choosing that person to be with, because we've really moved so much away from the era where they would choose for you a partner. The cases are really limited lately. So that means you're going to wake up in the morning and choose this person yourself. So where did you go wrong in the middle there that is now your decision is subjecting you to violence at the end of the day?
Okay, first of all, to answer the first question of what are the contributing factors or why have women normalized gender-based violence. First of all, many Ugandans see domestic violence as a private issue and not criminal. You go to your auntie and say, my husband beats me, and they will be like,
quiet,
keep quiet. Or a man who doesn't beat you does not love you. And then sometimes they're going to blame themselves and say, probably if I didn't do this, I wouldn't have annoyed him to do that. I think for me, it still goes back to manipulation and gaslighting, because when someone is abusing you, first of all, they're going to tell you everything you're doing wrong. And if something is said to your ears so often, eventually
the fear of a lie
you're going to eventually you're going to believe it. You will be a beautiful woman and he will tell you no one can be with you because you're so ugly, and if you hear it so much, you're going to start believing it. Because there is also a question of why don't people being abused, why don't women ever leave? It is research says that a woman to leave, or a person being abused to leave that abusive relationship, they have to be they have to have tried to leave 7 times to eventually leave. Okay, and it is rooted in many things. Like we said earlier, someone is going to abuse you financially. They are going to alienate you, that you cannot see your family, you do not have friends. So what they kill first, moral support. And if you have no moral support and you're alienated, the only person you have, you know the Stockholm syndrome, where you are so attached or in love with your abuser. For instance, if you're abducted, your abuser giving you crumbs here and there, eventually your survival depends on them.
Because probably that's all you've known.
Exactly. And these women, the same is happening to them. Picture this, married young, you're a minor probably, or even older, but you did not see life. You don't have a support system. All your friends, even the church tells us, married women should not be friends with unmarried women, okay? And the married women around you are telling you, a man who beats you loves you.
Yes, that's wrong.
That's wrong. So you start believing all these things. When this man starts beating you, it's going to be very hard for you to live. Very hard, because probably you don't have money, you don't have a job, you have nowhere else to go.
But you see, also there's another form of gender-based violence that we should as well look at in areas that continue to push for female genital mutilation. And I think last year Parliament had actually tabled a bill against the same, FGM. And when you look at some of, some societies, especially in eastern Uganda, you would look at some of those particular societies where it is actually still ongoing, though not as much as it was because of the rise of activism and the like. But that is also something that torments the girl child right from childhood, with the kind of, with the FGM practices, which as well are highly accepted in those cultures. So it is really something that we really need to as well look at, as much as we look at the gender-based violence widely.
That is still violence.
Exactly.
Because the women do not have a say in this. It's like when the cultural practice that is in Balu, and this has nothing for, I have nothing against these people. I think it's the Bagishu. Yes. But some people term that as gender-based violence against boys, because in some cases, you've seen people that they have fetched from Kampala, of you've never gone through initiation. So they pick you and they are doing it sometimes by force.
Because it's the culture there.
It's not supposed to be by force. It's supposed to be, you're supposed to do it voluntarily, but also
but the culture says,
but culture
because
never
of the culture,
lets you to do something voluntarily.
And of course, when you try to assess that, the inside part or the inside story also was to the detail was about how it is done. The professional ones, the doctors do it differently from how these people do it. It's really, the other side is really cruel. I may not go into that. But to you, our dearest viewer, be part of the conversation. The WhatsApp number where you can send your view is 07096025592. Be part of the conversation. And we are talking about, we are requesting that you share your opinion on the predominant emphasis of gender-based violence activism on women and girls. And well, be part of the conversation. Let us know what you think. Why is it majorly centered on the girls and the women? The other part I would like to hear, as we are getting closer to the conclusion, would be on the fact that the biggest percentage of how a family turns out, the biggest percentage, blame is put on the man and is put on the woman. Do we agree?
Yeah.
So that means that if this woman is not okay, these kids are not going to grow up properly. We've seen families where these kids have grown up with a single father. Yes, the kids are okay, but you will know that they lacked a father. They lacked a mother in there. And we also do notice that in most cases, yes, much as women fall short on the two roles put together, usually women perform way better than men when it comes to raising kids alone. Do we agree?
That's true.
So in this case, should we also look at the fact that these women contribute a little too much to how this family turns out eventually, and that is why we're having this conversation majorly centered on them?
Well, in Luganda we have a saying, omwana omubi avumaganya nyina, omwana omulungi asanyusa kitaawe. Simply translated, a bad child is going to be a shame for the mother. Is going to bring shame to the mom. And a good child is going to, of course, bring pride to the father. And because of that, we are working tirelessly to ensure that the children turn out right. Because honestly speaking, whether you go to the Bible or you go to science,
the woman has to
we are naturally engineered to be nurturers. That is our primary role.
The man acts as the shield and provider here.
Exactly. Only when we talk about provision, that's also a whole other story given today's dynamics.
Yes.
Because the men in this society have
they like to be provided for as well.
they want providing submissive providers for wives.
What do you bring on the table?
That's a story for another day. But yes, since you are the nurturer, honestly speaking, you cannot get away from it as a woman. This is your primary role, to nurture, to raise a child. You're the primary caregiver until they're a certain age where they can do certain things for themselves. But even when they are older, in most cases, the mom's advice is taken more than the dads.
Because also assess the fact that, let's assess the fact that the mother is more present in the lives of the children. When you to compare, is more present. So that means this woman contributes a lot to if the boy she's raising is going to be violent or not. But imagine this boy comes from a family where the mother takes in the violence and, you know, and she just coils and takes it in. That means this boy is going to carry that forward.
Also, research shows that when children grow up in violent homes and the mother never leaves or the abused parent never leaves, the child, for instance, if it is a boy child, he either will detest anything to do with violence when he's of age, but it is said that the highest probability is that he's going to actually turn into his father. And a girl child, if they see their mom being abused and she never leaves, she will grow up to believe that that is normal, it is okay, and she will stay in abusive situations
because
she will bond with men that are abusive because she doesn't know better. Her mother never left, and the trauma goes on and on and on.
But you know, again, it's high time when we looked at how we can empower, you know, both, not only the young boys, rather not only the young girls, but also the young boys right from childhood. How you empower them, you know, to believe in the, you know, in however much we push for human rights, there are now rights that people need to understand, and how, you know, society has actually upheld rights that are quite abusive in a way. And when you look at violence, even in, you know, in families at times, once you find families where there are abusive partners, you realize the children are sad, always crying at times.
Actually, the violence in a home breaks the children
more. It does break
adults.
them, and it's evident even when they're associating with their colleagues. You would clearly see that maybe there's something that isn't right back home. So empowering them right from childhood is something that society needs to do, especially even with the parents. And that is why at times when even parents separate, they are highly advised to at least make some time for their children, something most of the men lately are not doing as much, being available for their children or being the present fathers.
It's like punishment when a parent leaves, or let's say if it's the lady who left, the man is going to turn against even the children, in a way, or basically to punish her for having left.
Right, because in their natural element, honestly, men are not naturals, really. So I think it comes with the anger of literally, like that's what it looks like. Well, we do have a comment here from Bernard from Kakira Ginger, and he says, it's true, women are more vulnerable being a weaker sex, but this is caused by the player makers and women activists. They keep crying and making noise every time instead of them coming out to engage men and boys on the values of women. Tell them that these are the mothers of this nation and the benefits of a peaceful family. Tell me they do not know that these are mothers of the nation.
And where I disagree with Bernard is, so you want the women fighting for their rights to also be the same people to sit men down and tell them what you're doing is wrong. Where are the men? Where are the fathers? Where are the grandfathers? Where are the uncles? Who is talking to these men? We cannot be the abused and the ones that are also trying to make men change. Come on.
No, my challenge actually was on the fact that he wants us to go ahead and tell them that these are mothers. So you don't know that your mother is a woman? Anyway, the comment still runs. However, when you talk of women, maybe you talk of women of 90s and below. But of these days, women of these days are wild. They booze, lack respect, and most of them have forgotten their responsibilities at home. That's why there is increased gender-based violence and single mother families. A man who doesn't fight back just walks away.
That's an excuse.
Well, this conversation should have continued, but unfortunately, we are 1 minute into the break that we are supposed to be taking. Someone else says, to my point of view, the increasing equality between man and woman that's being advocated for, this makes men feel undermined since they claim that women are supposed to be ruled and controlled under them. Could it probably be violence to men too? Oh my God,
wow.
Student from Bali. Your comment is rather disturbing, but let's move. This is Karik, I think Kira municipality empowering women and girls across their lifetime by keeping girls in school, empowering women economically, using feminist approaches to tackle gender inequality, including at home, providing women and girls with safe spaces. Then someone says, good morning, Uganda. Initially it was due to men's superiority over women, but now in balanced gender era, women are contributing 90% towards their violence. But remember, nowadays men are being violated by women. Like I said, we cannot ignore that part. But at the end of the day, we are going back to where it is coming from, where it is prevalent, and it still stays with the girls and the women. Well, the conversation actually ends here, but Olive has a katalekeka.
A katalekeka. I would like to share this for those who say that women contribute 90% to their own abuse. National demographic data from 2020 reveals that 56 of married women aged between 15 to 49 reported having suffered physical and sexual violence by husbands. This is according to Uganda Bureau of Statistics. Also, more than 1 in 3 women, that is 36%, had experienced sexual violence, most often from a partner. 28% reported victimization by sexual violence in the past year. These are numbers. Numbers don't lie. 20% of domestic violence cases went up during the lockdown. And I ask you, who was affected? The women.
Well, this person says the reason as to why women are now, the reason for the increase is majorly stemming from the women themselves.
The empowerment.
Well, you know, the sexual violence part, there is an argument that at times it stems from the fact that the woman has denied the man.
Like you cannot say no because you're married. Consent is the thing.
Ladies and gentlemen, I beg that we close this conversation at this moment because we could go on and on, but unfortunately we don't have that much time. Please do keep your comments coming in. We will be able to read them a little later. For now, let's get into a very short break.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Of the day on UBC.
One-on-one with Michael Jordan Lukomwa.
A weekly face-to-face conversation focusing on accountability, inspiration, information, and sensitization of the public from the various sources such as inspirational profiles.
Having a disability is not inability.
Every Friday 9 p.m. it's one-on-one with Michael Jordan Lukomwa.
Don't you see anywhere that you would give a credit in the fight against COVID?
my role as the owner of the country is not to, be preoccupied by giving credit to my servant.
We have said that if we are to talk to Gmu Friay, there must be certain conditions in place.
Is it true that you paid 5 million shillings to MPs that voted for?
Was brought to you by MTN Momo Pay is the easy way to pay. Dial *165*3# or use the MTN Momo app. You don't need cash. MTN Momo Pay is safe and free.
Junko. Yo. What you go? Check the shopping, man. What's your secret?
Haven't you heard of the parish development model PDM?
Yes, I did, but I thought it was just a talk.
No, it is real. I and a few friends together formed a circle, accessed money from the PDM, invested in a portrait project, and now things are moving.
Junko. I thought I was one of your friends.
You are.
But you left me behind.
I didn't leave you in poverty. What you do, just visit your LC2 chairperson and your parish chief and start the process of economic transformation. Just like that. The parish development model is an initiative from the government of Uganda through the Ministry of Local Government designed to transform all lives of Ugandans for the better. PDM, my parish, my development, my life.
Nze Kagoya Manjeri nga ina emyaka 35 nafunaku esente okuva mu myoga sako danamba kubampaku emiliyoni ndala yanambako okusobola okweyiza engulu kubanga nalindiriye mu bizinesi kubanga ebintu ebyanina nali ngangwire n'amazima nga bizinesi eweremu amaanyi aye akasente basobola ak'emiliyoni endala kansobozesa okusobola okuyizaamu ebintu mu bizinesi danamba kale tusiime ino obuyambi bwemmwe okusinziira bwe nayongeramu ebintu nasobola okweyambaku mu mbeera eya buliido ng'okulya kwebeza okusasula ku bills nga bintu byenkozesa wano ng'amasanalaze n'ebindi ng'omuntu obulamu bwolina obutambuza mwebale ino mwebalingirana.
This plan, as the name prescribes, is the project for restoration of livelihood in northern region. So it was designed to support the population in order to implement the national programs of wealth creation, improving household income, and this is done through supporting agriculture, and by supporting agriculture, you support seed production, training of farmers, mindset change, and if it went ahead to have components of food security grants, whereby families were given grants to be able to improve their food security. But there was also community-based natural resources grants, which were given to families to put in place woodlots, which would help them to reduce on killing the vegetation and deforestation, looking for energy or for firewood.
UBC is the national public broadcaster. We educate, inform, entertain, and inspire our audiences. You can watch us on free-to-air channel 001, DSTV channel 282, GoTV channel 371, Star Times channel 201, Zuku TV channel 20, and Azam TV channel 350. Even when your subscription expires, you can still watch UBC for free on your pay TV platforms.
Amaina gange ndi namaganda Mariamu Monda myoga jaida emyoga igitandika okuyida nafunamu esente bampa yakakayirako esente bwe bampa akakayirako esente nayiye ekyokukola nasookera ku mutyere omutyere gwapanga beeyi naguvwako nanoonya omwana twageddaga n'amagezi n'agema esente edo n'amuga yaje yagula supeya ow'ebyuma muno pikipiki n'obugaali isaawa eno ndi kuyiiya okuleeta ebyuma ebimala ku bwe n'abakabiri bampayireyo ku esente nakoba okunoonya y'abaana babeegeresenga gano okukanika ki pikipiki era bali kujja mpolampola nga bakanika era esente batudifuna nenda kwongera mu maani ente bwe n'aba ndifunye twongeremu ntewo bizinensi yemala nenda okwebaza gavumenti egiira okutulowoozaako niife abaagansi mu kyalo okufuna esente twalinga n'esente nga tulumukira mu banka bugiri butige baida kunumba ngeno najayo ko baida kutako bigandiiko ayedi pola nendo okwebaza gavumenti olw'okulowooza ku nsonga eyo mukama abawo omukisa.
My name is Atube Richard, a member of a group called Gmu located in Bungatira sub-county. This group started in 2008, but the Prelnol project started supporting us in 2009. The project has offered us training on farming, and the training we got has helped us immensely. We used to farm in a traditional way, planting a variety of crops. But when the team from Prelnor approached us, they asked us to choose particular seeds to grow which can yield very well in our area. We chose groundnuts and rice, which we are growing. With this kind of farming, the project also taught us how to sell as a group after finding a market. The support from the project has been so good to us.
I've seen a number of community members out there that have formed themselves into groups and have identified enterprises, agricultural enterprises, rice and all that, and they've actually been successfully cultivating them. They've gone ahead, the project has gone ahead and also introduced small-scale industries like the rice huller, the grinding mills and all that are managed by the groups. All these are successes.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
In class.
You're still watching Good Morning Uganda Friday special, and guess what? I am with the band now. Before I tell you about the band, I am with Suka Alpha, and when I was trying to interact with him, he told me I don't move alone. So I am with Suka and the band, and well, I don't want to say too much because I'm already in the mood for entertainment. I'm already in the mood for the weekend, and hopefully by the time it clocks 9 a.m., you who is out there not feeling the Friday, you have gotten into a better mood. Let me first check on Alpha and see how he's doing. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you feeling?
I'm feeling great.
You're feeling great. It's a bit chilly outside, so hopefully inside you're not chilly. Well, we are going to see that especially by what happens in the next few minutes. So let me let you do your thing.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Suka and the band. We are going to mash up to the fullest. So Uganda, get ready for this one. The first song is called Unconditional. I'm a gospel artist, a music producer, so I'm blessed to be at Good Morning Uganda. So I'm inspired from the book of John chapter 4 verse 7, which says, God is love, is unconditional, has his nature. So this is the song I'm going to give you, my people. May God bless you. Let's go, my band. Your love is unconditional. Your love is unconditional. Alpha Suka music. Let's go. Show. I don't know where to go. I don't know where to stay. Yesu sikwe kute. Hey.
You're the reason why I lift my hand and my voice. So unconditional God, wataliko bukwakulizo. Oh, oh, oh. 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 So, I don't know where to go. I don't know where to stay. Yesu sikwekute. Sina mulala kwetu nuliranga manyo basinga bonna. Sina mulala kwetu nulira. I am blessed to pray in your presence. I am lucky to have your mercy. You're the reason why I lift my hand and my voice singing. Unconditional God, wataliko bukwakulizo. Unconditional God, wataliko bukwakulizo. Unconditional God, wataliko bukwakulizo. Unconditional. Come on, sing with me. Come on, sing with me. Come on, lift them. From my album Taina Limit. The next song is called Nsimye. We should always give thanks to the Lord because we are alive. In the book of 1 Chronicles chapter 16 verse 34 says, give thanks to the Lord for his good and his love endures forever. So I'm going to sing a song called Nsimye. My band, are you ready? Let's go, Timor. Sinabana kukusaba nene unya walibone byokola nesigala nga nkujulira ti simye 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 tibyokola byokolera mukama tisimye simye simye chovola basitoma simye 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 byokolera mukama tisimye simye Timo, talk to me. Oh na 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 na. Break it down. So, I wanna dedicate this song to one of my mentors in the gospel music. Big up to the Vixen. This line is I dedicate to you. Give me the kiss mark. Nebazanye yanjuwako musai era mpamani blessing abalala. Nebazanya banyambako mu lugendo sizezeka kandi ne bananga balala. Olutalo ronga luwanvu naye tusabirabo kitaffe yatugamba tulina okwagala guno mukwano tekumanyira nji mu Yesu guno mukwano tekumanyira nji mu Yesu tekumanyira nji tekumanyira nji simye 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 byokolera mukama simye 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 chovola basitoma simye 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 byokolera mukama simye 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 chovola basitoma. Yo, that was another applause. My next third song after this first half is going, I call it Nzani. Who am I? Some of us would have been dead. Some of us would have not been here. But by the grace of God, we are here. So in the book of Ephesians chapter 1 from verse 5 to 6 says, God destined us to be adopted children through Jesus Christ. And when you go to John chapter 3 verse 16, he gave his only son for us to survive. So who am I? Nzani. Are we ready? Let's go. Nyumiro kubera wobera kuba yengwe eyantusize mbera ampanirira ngaserera anyanukulanga musaba buli kasera. Nyumiro kubera wobera kuba yengwe eyantusize mbera ampanirira ngaserera anyanukulanga musaba buli kasera. Zak sanya sinza sanya tenda kawe bikata katanda basisanira na kusanira. Sanya Caesar, Sanya tena group alani kawe biganta gatanda basisanira na kusanira. Toba kuba nange kandi zirise nandiremeredwa no kuswala kwandi bade kuzibuka kwe wala right just je wala 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 ai julira linyalye Yesu nze sobolo kuwangala. Hallelujah. Sanya Caesar, Sanya tenda ai kawe mikata katanda basisanira na kusanira. Sanya Caesar, Sanya tenda ai kawe mikata katanda basisanira. Listen to this one. Titoba kuba nange kandi zirise nandiremeredwa no kuswala kwandi bade kusibuka kwe wala right tijonsi wala 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 ai julira linyalyo Yesu nze sobolo kuwangala. Hallelujah. Sanya Caesar, Sanya tenda ai kawe mikata katanda basisanira na kusanira. Sanya Caesar, Sanya tenda ai kata katanda ba. Give me the kiss. Sure. Nyomiro kubera wobera kubanya kwe eyachusize mbera ampanirira ngaserera anyanukulanga musaba buli kasera. Nyomiro kubera wobera kuba yegwe eyetusiza embeera amaliriranga serera anyanukulanga 7 soon zanya sinza zanya tenda wembigatagata ndabasisanira nakusanira zanya sinza zanya tenda kawembigatagata ndabasisanira nakusanira Timo. Let's dance, Timo. Our dance. 1, 2, go.
This is Good Morning Uganda.
What a joyous moment to talk about the importance of celebrating Christmas, the Christ Mass. When you look at Isaiah chapter 9, verse 6, it actually has these words, for unto us a son is given, for unto us a child is born. Why do we have to celebrate the birth of Jesus Christ? That is what we are talking about. And when you look at those words, it actually says that because the son is given, the government shall be on his shoulders. But whenever someone so it means that we remember the birth of Jesus Christ because he's actually telling us that he has authority. He has authority over everything that we do. And why is it important to talk about authority? To talk about leadership? Because of one simple reason stated in Romans chapter 13, verse 1 and 2, where it says that all authority actually originates from God. Whenever we remember the birth of Jesus Christ, we are simply saying that all authority, every placement that we have, it is actually God-given. And because it is God-given, we should always celebrate and rejoice in the wonders of God. And it is also important to remember that on the day we remember Christmas, it is saying that we have a wonderful person. A wonderful person, such a person that is full of love. A person that is full of love actually also teaches us the different ways we are supposed to behave. And that is stated in 2 Timothy chapter 3, verse 16, where he tells us that he has given us his word to instruct us, to train us, to rebuke us, but at the same time, to always show us the right way to move. So what a person will remember on such a day of Christmas. It is important that we remind ourselves that we have someone who will always direct us on the right things to do, who will give us instructions on how to live with different people. Then it also brings out the point that the Christ that we remember is actually a counselor. Who is a counselor? A counselor is a person who will find you troubled and will actually tell you how to maneuver through. Is a person who will actually find you when you don't know what to do, and he will direct you on what to do. A counselor is a person who will see you doing wrong things, and he will actually rebuke you and then show you the right path to take. Those words are actually in Revelation chapter 3 verse 19, where God says that those whom I love, I reproach and discipline. And he simply tells us, be zealous to repent. So that is the person who remember on such a day, Christmas, a counselor. Then he's also a mighty God. Mighty God actually simply assures us that because he's a mighty God, that's the reason me and you exist. Otherwise, if it weren't for him, the creator, then we would all not be in existence. Then he's the everlasting Father. As we treasure the fathers we have in this world, as we treasure the parents, then we have parents of ours who live. And finally, he's the Prince of Peace. Whenever you have peace at heart, whenever you can talk about being peaceful in mind, it means that you live in harmony with every person that you find on this planet Earth. You'll as well struggle to wish others good. You'll be a kind person. You'll be a passionate person. You'll be a patient person, because those are the attributes that you'll ever find with Christ. So on such a day as Christmas, it is a day we remind ourselves that we have the one who owns authority, a wonderful person, a counselor, a mighty God, everlasting Father, and the Prince of Peace. May God give you the peace that you'll actually desire to have. And you celebrate this day, just remember that he actually needs your heart. He needs you as a person, because if he does not have you, then he cannot have peace in the world. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Well, in the spirit of Christmas, we bring you amazing things here on Good Morning Uganda. My name is Olive Monica Najuma. Thank you so much for being a part of Good Morning Uganda Friday edition. And I'm hoping that you had an amazing time enjoying that performance. I was touched. And of course, there is a part where they said, Nandi Badani, like, who would I have been if it wasn't for you, Lord? Now, if you're a Christian like me, I believe that those lyrics struck a chord and they brought a certain message and sentiment down to you. Wow. That's what we do at Good Morning Uganda. We normally start your beautiful Friday by having you have such music playing for you. Sometimes it is religious, other times it is not. But all in all, we strive to entertain you, inspire you, and also educate you. And also speaking about entertainment, and of course in the spirit of Christmas, like I said, I have a gentleman and a lady from Zingayafe, and they are going to tell us more about Zingayafe. It is a production house. They are going to present a certain drama at the National Theatre on the 22nd of December 2023. Would like to know more about that drama, of course, and of course the gentleman will tell me more about some of the things they look out for and some of the things they want to highlight in this drama. Of course, the lady is going to explain more to us what the drama is all about. And of course, I like the name. It is called Zwelibanzi Omukenkufu. Now, if you're like me and you have read some Luganda literature like Olusozi Lwabatulege, Basajja Mivule, and many more, you will find this name interesting, but I've been told that it is actually a South African name. It is not one of the names you'd find in Olusozi Lwabatulege, but still, it is interesting. So I would like to know what inspired the name, first of all, Zwelibanzi Omukenkufu. Omukenkufu, I think in lay language would be something like professor, but who am I to tell you everything when I have the people here that came up with this production, and that is Zinga Yafe, represented by Samuel Kalunji and Vanessa Patricia Nandagu. You're welcome to Good Morning Uganda.
Good morning. Thank you so much.
I'm glad to have you. Yes. And I would love to start with Patricia. Please tell us about Zwelivanzi Omkenkofu.
Good morning. I'm glad to be here. So Zwelivanzi Omkenkofu is a well-researched drama play, but it's more than a play because it's built on 3 fundamental families, and that is the home, and then we have an institution of learning, and then we have the organization. So the family feeds into the institution of learning, and then the institution of learning feeds into the working organizations. So our play is well-researched, and it's our play is well-researched, and it's built on the fundamental pillars of accountability and transparency in public office, and it has also corporate governance. And considering the things that happen in society, organizations have policies, practices, and laws that govern their performance. But organizations don't really follow these practices. So this is what the drama wants to come about and offer solutions. Then we also have skilling, innovation, and entrepreneurship. We want to celebrate those people that use the skills that they have to create positive impact in society.
Okay, that's interesting, and honestly, I think you are going well when you decide to look at some of the aspects, especially in corporate governance and other social justice issues, and appreciate the people, but also shed light more onto what happens in those entities. Now, Mr. Kalunji,
yes.
As was speaking and as she was speaking, I remembered something that you told me, that you're also aiming to look at things like skilling and education.
Yeah.
Let's tell us more about that.
Good morning, Uganda. Definitely, when you talk about today, when you talk about Uganda, the Uganda we have right now, you cannot skip skilling. Skilling is one thing that that most of these developed countries adopted earlier. For example, you can see all the phones we have, all these things. You find that they're coming either from China or whatever, but then it's because those people have got skilling. So now we want to advocate for that. And being Zinga Yafe, we stand for personal responsibility and accountability. Now, we believe that if we skilled Ugandans, if Ugandans are skilled, they are going to be more productive in that line. But then you cannot forget that you need the other education, our education, but then you need to also back it up with the skills. So that when you have the skills like talents, like the way we are, for us, when you look at all of us, we have a background of education. Maybe personally, I'm a community expert, studied community development. She's maybe a journalist, and we are all here working on the same project, which is a talent project. So for me, I think it's, we think as Zinga Yafe that we have to go towards skilling. And the only way to do that is by, first of all, appreciating the talents that we have. Then we use the talents as a medium of communication, so that it can go all over the place. Because right now, as I speak to you, we have seen many people earning from simply their talents. Some of them have actually even gone to school and they have studied and they have degrees, and very good degrees, and they are not doing much with their degrees, but they're doing much with their talents.
And that's where I come in.
Yeah.
And I know why you're laughing, because we had this a little bit of this back and forth prior. And for me, I would like you to tell us, do you think that someone that has talent really needs to have an education? What is the play of education when you already have a talent?
I think it's very hard to use your talent when you don't get the education.
How so? Because today I know many artists that didn't even go up to senior 6. Very successful. So when you say that, what exactly do you mean?
I'll give you an example of a rich man sometime who said that I am very rich even when I did not go to school. And another person told him, you know, you'll be richer than that if you had gone to school.
Okay.
So you cannot be so sure. You can be very lucky, but you cannot be lucky all the time. So, and trust me, between me and you, and maybe the viewer who is seeing us, you cannot, for example, you cannot, if you have an option of a good musician here, and who did not go to school at all, but very talented, and then you have another musician here who went to school, but then also talented, you choose the other one, because for that person who went to school will know the value of contracts. They will know the value of keeping time. They will know, for example, if like we had not gone to school, we say, man, for me I slept and I come here at 10, you'll be off the stage. So that's the thing.
I hear what you're saying.
So the fact is, we support, as Zinga Yafe, we support the idea of people going to school. But the one thing that we are very careful about is that talent must also be taken good care of. If you have one, because even in the Bible, for those of you who read the Bible, you know that there was a time God gave talents to different people.
That's right.
And these people, one kept his, the other one went and did something with it, the other one did whatever they did. So, but there's one specifically who did not do anything. He just kept it and said, you know what, this is not mine, it's for God, and I have to give it to him. He was a good guy.
Yes.
Because, I mean, he was a good guy, taking back what he was given.
What he was given, yes.
But then, God wasn't happy with that. It was a talent he would have used. So what God did, removed this talent, gave it to someone else who actually had done more with the other one. So the idea there is we must embrace talent, and we have to work with it and make sure that it makes more sense to all of us through development. Because today there are things that are hard to explain for a long time. But when you have like a drama skit, it can bring it out so clearly. You remember the COVID times? We're using, So why don't we use the same to all these other, you know, entities? And
I hear what you're saying, because are writers, would you call writers talented? Is that talent
yes,
too?
a talent is a special gift given by God. So any special gift, people have talent. Some people have talents of just looking good.
Wow.
Yeah. So if you use looking good as your talent, trust me, you earn from it. So talent is, every other person has got a talent. A talent. You just have to realize it. That's why in the Zinga Yafe we also have children that we come, we train, because for us we know that when you're growing, there's a talent that gets buried away by all these problems we go through and all that. So it is really a point of understand that each of us has a talent somewhere, somehow. Just need to realize it and use it well.
That's very profound when you say it, because there are people who are good at public speaking.
Exactly.
There are people who are good actors.
Exactly.
And I've had people say that artists are born, not made. For instance, I mean fine artists. Like someone will just come up with a sketch of something and it is really mind-blowing. And you're like, they can't teach you this. Maybe they can teach you how to finesse this, but the talent was there. So I hear you when you say that. So what would you say about someone having a talent and also a career? How do they balance that?
I think it's clearly, when you have a career, because what is a career? What is a talent? you can make your talent a career. But then I think that the other part, because we are convinced in this world today that a career is like when you go to school and study. But then there's also, when you have that career of yours, and then you have a talent, the education back helps you to push this career goes all the way, but then it is backed up by your talent, because there's a saying that talent you kutuza n'abalangira.
Okay.
So it's more of, we can do both, because now, like, look at professors like Professor Muganga. He's an educationist. He's actually the one for the one who had that controversial
Victoria
the controversial battle here.
Yes.
Everyone was asking, how do you mix the two? It doesn't make any sense. Why would you? He's in education at the university, and now he's talking about a battle, a music battle, moreover, not a school battle kind of thing. So it is really a question of appreciation. We need to appreciate both. Yeah.
Well, Mr. Karungi, as we wind, what would be your your last shots to our viewers, and of course tell them more about where they can get the tickets for the show on 22nd?
Okay. Thank you so much. First of all, UBC, thank you so much for bringing us this morning. Thank you. Good morning, Uganda. Even before the tickets, we are going to stage the show at the National Theatre. It's going to be on the 22nd. That will be a Friday. So that Friday is actually the beginning of the weekend to Christmas, because our Christmas is on Monday. So the tickets are going to be sold at 20,000 for our guests and 100,000 for contribution.
Okay.
So they will be, they are here at UBC. You can come at UBC, you get the tickets. You can call, there's a number that you can call. You can also get the ticket. Then there is also at the National Theatre, buy your ticket earlier. You can also buy it at the gate, but it's better when you buy it earlier. Yes.
We promise to bring you Christmas plots, and this is one of them. The weekend is long. Jerome Paul Sonko says that since from today up to 31st December, it's still going to be the long weekend. And for some of you breaking off from work till January, because some people are stopping work today, this could be something you could look into the other weekend of 22nd December at the National Theatre. If you love drama, this is something that you will enjoy, and of course you can get the tickets from us here at UBC and at the National Theatre. Thank you so much, Mr. Karungi.
Thank you very much.
Miss Nandago Vanessa Patricia. Thank you so much for being with us this morning.
Thank you very much. Good morning.
Good morning.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Pick of the day on UBC.
One-on-one with Michael Jordan Lukomwa.
A weekly face-to-face conversation focusing on accountability, inspiration, information, and sensitization of the public from the various sources, such as inspirational profiles.
Having a disability is not inability.
Every Friday 9 p.m., it's one-on-one with Michael Jordan Lukomwa.
Don't you see anywhere that you would give a credit in the fight against COVID?
My role as the owner of the country is not to, be preoccupied by giving credit to my servant.
We have said that if we are to talk to Gmu Friay, there must be certain conditions in place.
Is it true that you paid 5 million shillings to MPs that voted for?
Was brought to you by
MTN Momo Pay is the easy way to pay. Dial *165*3# or use the MTN Momo app. You don't need cash. MTN Momo Pay is safe and free.
UBC is the national public broadcaster. We educate, inform, entertain, and inspire our audiences. You can watch us on free-to-air channel 001, DSTV channel 282, GoTV Channel 371, Star Times Channel 201, Zuku TV Channel 20, and Azam TV Channel 350. Even when your subscription expires, you can still watch UBC for free on your pay TV platforms.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Staying with us, you're still watching Good Morning Uganda Friday special. Now, the conversation in studio this morning is rather interesting, but I landed on a report on Sonko's status that said that the Archbishop of Uganda tried to get people that get married when they're still virgins, and he failed. And my question is, how are they going to check if these people are virgin? And who was going to check? But I'm here with your recommendations for the weekend. If you're trying to stay in, especially if you have no event, because as we know, December is for events. So if you're staying in and you like to catch up on some movies, well, that is what we're going to be doing this morning, recommending some that you can watch. Those that couldn't catch up with last week's movies, maybe you should actually go ahead and catch up with those now. The first is American Symphony. This is a 2023 American biography documentary film written, shot, and edited by Matthew Heineman. It explores a year in the life of musician John Batiste, and it had a world premiere at the 50th Telluride Film Festival on August 31st, 2023, and was released by Netflix on November 29th, 2023. Take a look at the trailer.
What you mean? It's just a lot. I'm always in awe of Zuleika, how she deals with hardship.
My first day of chemo, 11 Grammy nominations were announced.
I won the biggest prize in music, come home, she's back in the hospital. This is what we're dealing with. Butterfly.
We both see survival as a creative act.
But can you fly on your own?
These rings are a token of your marriage covenant.
In the world today, butterfly flying home.
How are you doing right now?
I have faith that everything can change. My mind is always making things. It's the way that I process my life.
If a symphony orchestra was created right now, what would that sound like? We're gonna play it one night only at Carnegie Hall.
Music comes from life experiences.
We've both had so many good things happening.
And the Grammy goes to John Batiste!
And so many incredibly hard things.
Would this remission last years and then come back? We don't know.
I honestly don't know how to hold such extremes.
have to confront the brutal reality. But at the same time, have completely unwavering faith.
American Symphony is the movie right there. In case you're someone who is a bit musical, someone who likes to follow up on some stories, who likes a good story, but you can't get yourself to sit and read, well, sometimes the movies come in handy, especially movies that have a very good storyline, like American Symphony right there. Now, the premise is it explores a year in the life of the musician John, who is chronicling his career in music, including the 11 nominations at the 64th Annual Grammy Awards, and the struggles his wife Suleika faces with leukemia. The story, like I said, it is a good story in case you want to follow up on the same. Now, the next movie recommendation is The Archies. The Archies is a 2023 Indian, English and Hindi language teen musical comedy film directed by Zoya Akhtar, who also produced the film with Rima Kagti under Tiger Baby Films, and Sharad. These names are very interesting. They're like the Korean names that I was trying to read recently. But the name is Sharad Devarajan under Graphic India. Now, the film features the fictional music band produced by and related to Archie Comics and stars Agastya Nanda, Kushi Kapoor, Suhana Khan, Vedang Raina, Mahir Ahuja, and very many others. Take a look at the trailer.
I always have fun with you.
Me too. I always have fun with me. It takes every girl out bets. बता जाएगा आची और कुत्ते की दुम कभी सीधे नहीं होंगे.
Betty and Ronnie are best friends. आज नहीं तो कल तेरी बात होगी और फिर तेरा क्या होगा Ambrose?
Now we commence the voting for permission to build a grand hotel on the land which is now Green Park.
अगर हमने आज ये पार्क जाने दिया तो कल और भी जाएंगे. Trust me, एक पेड़ भी नहीं बचेगा.
होटल तुम्हारे डैड बनाने वाले हैं.
What are you talking about?
He's gonna destroy Green Park. Green Park हमारी history है. Those are our trees. That's why we've grown up.
डैड का बुक स्टोर बंद हो रहा है क्योंकि तुम्हारे डैड ने डिसाइड किया कि वो टाउन स्क्वायर के सारे शॉप्स खरीदेंगे और उन्हें तोड़कर एक बड़ा प्लाजा बनाएंगे.
हर चीज प्रॉफिट के बारे में नहीं हो सकती. For some people there's more to life.
अगर मैंने ये आर्टिकल छापा, he will shut us down, publication बंद.
This is business. It's not personal.
My friends hate me because of you, so I'm sorry, but it is personal.
हमें कुछ करना होगा. We can't give up.
Children don't count.
Edison.
The Archies right there is the movie that we are talking about, and if you love some movies that have a bit of the Indian music and the dance moves and all that, that is the movie right there that you might want to catch up on this weekend. The next recommendation is The Bad Guys. Now, The Bad Guys is a Very Bad Holiday is a 2023 half-hour Christmas-themed CG animated streaming television special based on the 2022 film The Bad Guys, and which in turn is based on the graphic novel series of the same name. The special also serves as a prequel to the original film, directed by Brett Harland, and the special premiere was on 30th November 2023 on Netflix. What is the plot? It is set before the events of the film. The bad guys are riding around the city and looking forward to rob a bank on Christmas, taking advantage that everyone will be celebrating in their homes. At a parade, their car gets tied to a beloved Santa Claus balloon, which they end up destroying accidentally. As a result, the city's mood falls so low that Christmas is cancelled. Concerned that their haste will not be possible, the bad guys set out to cheer up the rest of the gang, disagree as it looks too intimidating. Instead, Wolf suggests recreating the balloon, but it ends up looking horrible and is discarded as well. Take a look at the trailer.
It was the day before Christmas, before the bad guys turned good, when all through the city, they cased each and every neighborhood.
The bad guys!
Better get a move on it.
We just stole Santa.
Christmas is canceled.
If folks don't stay home to celebrate, we won't be able to clean the city out. We were gonna rob the bank.
I feel scandalized.
We'll cheer up the city in time to rob it Christmas morning. Let's go do some good so we can be bad. We'll steal gifts and then break into houses to leave them.
I definitely did it. What? You never seen an ab before?
Cough it up. He used the shaved ice machine to make snow.
A vortex is spinning out of control. That's not good.
Cover your eyes.
Well, Good Morning Uganda Friday's special recommendation is that you're seeing right there. I'm not a big fan of animations. I can assure you I will doze the first 5 minutes of the animation. But if you like animations, that is the movie to catch up on, especially for the Christmas season. For you that like to do it like me and watch Christmas movies around this time as you're trying to gather energy for the season. Lastly, when it comes to entertainment, we are going all the way to Rwanda. Kendrick Lamar had a concert in Rwanda at the BK Arena, and well, a lot of people flew from different parts of the country. Of course, as you can see on the screen, different Rwandese artists were also, sharing the stage with Kendrick Lamar. But the highlight of the whole event was the fact that the president, His Excellency Paul Kagame, attended the concert. We know him to be a cool president. Well, look from the outfits that he usually puts on. Usually his suits are really, you know what I'm talking about. So he attended the concert, and that was the highlight of the whole concert. Of course, aside from the fact that Kendrick Lamar was performing in Kigali, someone would also ask, how come he was in Kigali but not in Rwanda? While appearing on stage on Wednesday evening, just before Lamar started, President Paul Kagame thanked the organizers. He said it was a good way of ending the year with music, with energy, with optimism. Now, Rwandan choreographers, along with Rwandan-born Sherry Silva, joined Lamar on stage dancing traditional moves. Well, and a lot more happened if you were not able to catch up on the concert. Some did not even know that he was performing in Rwanda. We saw very many people, if you're on Snapchat, for example, you saw people posting and moving and tickets flying left, right, and center, people catching flights, not feelings like they were putting it. And people were asking, what is in Rwanda? Well, like I said, Kendrick Lamar was performing in Rwanda. The highlight was the president himself was in attendance. How good would it be if our president attended one of the concerts? I'm just saying. It is a Friday, and well, my time is up for the entertainment news and recommendations for movies. Coming up is sports with Jerome Paul Sonko and Ruben Chirango Mpima.
This is Studios in Kampala. This is Good Morning Uganda.
Nze Kagoya Manjeri nga alina emyaka 35 nafunaku esente okuva mu myoga sako danamba kubampaku emiliyoni ndala yanambaku okusobola okweyiza engulu kubanga nalindirire mu bizinensi kubanga ebintu ebyanina nali ngangwire n'amazima nga bizinensi eweremu amaanyi aye akasente ke basobola okumpaaku ak'emiliyoni endala kansobozesa okusobola okuyizaamu ebintu mu bizinensi danamba kale tusiime ino obuyambi bumwe okusinziira bwe nayongeramu ebintu nasobola okweyamba mu mbeera eya buliido ng'okulya kwebeza okusasula ku bills nga bintu byenkozesa wano ng'amasanalaze n'ebindi ng'omuntu obulamu bwolina obutambuza. Mwebale ino munobalingirana.
Juko. Yo. What Chico? Check the shopping man. What's your secret?
Haven't you heard of the parish development model PDM?
Yes, I did, but I thought it was just a talk.
No, Sebatia. It is real. I and a few friends together formed a circle, accessed money from the PDM, invested in a portrait project, and now things are moving.
Juko. I thought I was one of your friends.
You are.
But you left me behind.
I didn't leave you in poverty. What you do, just visit your LC2 chairperson and your parish chief and start the process of economic transformation. Just like that. The parish development model is an initiative from the government of Uganda through the Ministry of Local Government designed to transform all lives of Ugandans for the better. PDM, my parish, my development, my life.
UBC is the national public broadcaster. We educate, inform, entertain, and inspire our audiences. You can watch us on free-to-air channel 001, DSTV channel 282, GoTV channel 371, Star Times channel 201, Zuku TV channel 20, and Azam TV channel 350. Even when your subscription expires, you can still watch UBC for free on your pay TV platforms.
It's now time for sports this morning. Good morning again, and many thanks for sticking around to UBC. Good morning, Uganda Friday edition. And on Friday, the sports bit of it is always quite interesting because Ruben is on the other side to bring us what has been transpiring throughout the week as we usher you into a weekend filled up with a lot of sporting activities that will be happening both from the African continent and elsewhere. So besides that, you get to realize that the week has also been filled up with a lot of shocks from the world of sports, especially football. But that is why we are here to give you all of that in a bit. Good morning, Ruben, and good to have you this morning.
I've not seen the South before.
So I'm African theme,
Is it from the Gmu land in Nigeria?
No. It was actually made by a Ugandan tailor, surprisingly. Uganda.
A female or a male?
No, a male.
Okay. You know, I thought it was a gift from somebody.
Not really.
Not really.
I do have a pair of sneakers that was a gift from somebody.
Okay.
From a female.
Is somebody I know or somebody I don't know?
No, someone you don't know. So I'm looking forward next week on my birthday to see which other gift will be coming in. But looking at the NBA games, that did take place yesterday or early this morning, and also what should we expect tomorrow still from the NBA?
We had games this morning, and of course the Bucks did lose the Pacers. That was 128 for the Pacers and 119 for the Bucks. We also had another game that was the Lakers against the Pelicans. The Lakers did actually smash the Pelicans. That was 133 to 89. Wow, they have been really not playing well. When they got their chance, they actually used it well. But of course, to take you through what you have tomorrow morning, as into the weekend, going to the weekend, we have the Hawks will be in action against the 76ers. That game will be at the Wells Fargo Center. Then, of course, you shall have the Celtics against the Knicks. The Heat will take on the Cavs. The Thunder will take on the Warriors. Spurs will take on the Bulls. Your team, the Denver Nuggets.
The Nuggets. I was failing at pronouncing the Nuggets.
It's actually the Nuggets. Will take on the Rockets. Then the Suns will take on the Kings. The Blazers will take on the Mavericks. And lastly, the Jazz will take on the Clippers. That game will be at 6 a.m. at the Delta Center. Yes.
And of course, for those who are fanatics of the NBA, those are some of the games that you will definitely catch up tomorrow morning as well. Ruben, this week, as we're getting into football, a lot of midweek action was actually taking place in the English Premier League. There were some shockers as well. Looking at Aston Villa shocking Manchester City, and Aston Villa displayed some good football against Pep Guardiola.
Actually, before that game on Wednesday, I was with a colleague of mine called Dion Serwanga, and I told him that City are now in a bad spell. They have actually drawn 3 games before the Villa game at Villa Park. I mean, and with those 3 games, they are taking the lead. You've never seen City take a lead and they lose the lead or draw the game. So those were signs of either fatigue or signs of a bad spell coming. And indeed, it showed on Wednesday.
Because they've won a lot, maybe.
Yeah, on Wednesday that maybe Villa were lucky. They deflected the shot into the net and they never recovered. And they are missing Rodri in that midfield. Rodri is that key player in their system. And of course, for me, I think, and they are not going to lose more games. I believe that. But we'll get World Cup in January, and between January and April and May.
And they will come back to...
The lion might be...
The elephant will have to drop. But we also had Manchester United and Chelsea. Manchester getting back to winning ways. I think that also yesterday, there were some matches yesterday in the English Premier League.
True.
Where we saw Tottenham also losing again to West Ham.
For me, Postecoglou, the coach at Spurs, I hold Celtic for Spurs. He had a first of a good spell. The first 1 month or 2, he was really that brilliant manager. Now things started turning around against him. I mean, he has now lost a couple of games, and you ask yourself, where are they heading as Spurs? But they lost West Ham at home by 2-1. Goals are from Jared Bowen as well as Ward-Prowse. Then, of course, Everton did beat Newcastle by 3-0. The Newcastle that beat Man U.
Man U now has lost to Everton.
They do
Everton in the relegation battle.
What a game of football that was. Everton did beat Newcastle by 3-0. Actually, McNeil, Decore and Beto had their say in that game. And that means that Everton, if they continue this kind of form, they won't be relegated.
Wow, and after they had actually been deducted 10 points. Ruben, now we have the weekend ahead of us. I want us to first of all start with the English Premier League. Which matches should the viewers expect as well? Which would be eye-catching for you?
You know, for me, I think the Aston Villa Arsenal game tomorrow at 8:30 should be something to watch out for. I mean, Villa plays beautiful football, and Unai Emery would want revenge against his former employees.
Yes.
And Aston Villa has actually been the team on form. They beat City. They're now playing against Arsenal at Villa Park.
At Villa Park.
So if Arsenal win the game at Villa Park, I'll start thinking maybe it's theirs. Yeah, maybe, because they have won 3 games in injury time. They beat Man U in injury time.
Luton.
They did beat Brentford in injury time. Then they beat Luton in injury time. So if they beat Villa tomorrow at Villa Park, I'll start
thinking maybe they have something special.
They have something special for their fans. But that's in England. The Arsenal game is the one who can look out for. Then, of course, in Spain, the Betis Madrid game, a good one to catch. That will be in Spanish La Liga. And, of course, in Italy, I think...
I'm seeing some interesting fixtures. Starting from today, Italy. There's Juventus Napoli.
Good one. That's a good game in the Serie A to catch. Those who love watching the Serie A. The old lady will be playing, hosting Napoli. And Napoli hasn't been the best of
this season, yes.
And I believe maybe they might not win against Juve, but they have the players to do that as well. But of course, another game that I can talk about here, Atlanta will take on AC Milan. Milan has been pouring hot and cold, and I don't see them winning against Atlanta away from home. Though on Sunday, what you can look out for is actually the Spurs Newcastle game for England. Then, of course, in La Liga, there's nothing to write home about in La Liga. Maybe the Serie A, you can look out for Roma Fiorentina. That can be a good one as well.
Oh, wow. And of course, you can look out for those particular matches and the games elsewhere as such. For all of you, the viewers out there who are so much interested in sports.
There's a message here from Sylvia Favor says that Kasonga Korajito Kampa Ruben.
Ah. Well, after the break, we do have more entertainment coming in from Suka Alpha. Stick around.
Sylvia's doing this shopping.
I've seen a number of community members out there that have formed themselves into groups and have identified enterprises, agricultural enterprises, rice and all that, and they've actually been successfully cultivating them. They've gone ahead, the project has gone ahead and also introduced small-scale industries like the rice huller, the grinding mills and all that that are managed by the groups. All these are successes.
UBC is the national public broadcaster. We educate, inform, entertain, and inspire our audiences. You can watch us on free-to-air channel 001, DSTV channel 282, GoTV channel 371, Star Times channel 201, Zuku TV channel 20, and Azam TV channel 350. Even when your subscription expires, you can still watch UBC for free on your pay TV platforms.
Pick of the day on UBC.
One-on-one with Michael Jordan Lukomwa.
A weekly face-to-face conversation focusing on accountability, inspiration, information, and sensitization of the public from the various sources, such as inspirational profiles.
Having a disability is not inability.
Every Friday 9 p.m. it's one-on-one with Michael Jordan Lukomwa.
Don't you see anywhere that you would give a credit in the fight against COVID?
My role as the owner of the country is not to, be preoccupied by giving credit to my servant.
We have said that if we are to talk to General Museveni, there must be certain conditions in place.
Is it true that you paid 5 million shillings to MPs that voted for?
Was brought to you by
MTN Momo Pay is the easy way to pay. Dial *165*3# or use the MTN Momo app. You don't need cash. MTN Momo Pay is safe and free.
Nze Kagoya Manjeri ng'alina emyaka 35 nafunaku esente okuva mu myoga sako danambaku bampaku emiliyoni ndala yanambaku okusobola okweyiza engulu kubanga nalindirira mu bizinensi kubanga ebintu bwe byanina nali ngangwire n'amazima nga bizinensi eweremu amaanyi aye akasente ke basobola okumpaaku ak'emiliyoni endala kansobozesa okusobola okwizaamu ebintu mu bizinensi danamba kale tusiime ino obuyambi bwemmwe okusinziira bwe nayongeramu ebintu nasobola okweyambaku mu mbeera eya buliido ng'okulya kwebeza okusasula ku bills nga bintu byenkozesa wano ng'amasanalaze n'ebindi ng'omuntu obulamu bwolina obutambuza mwebale ino mwebalingala.
Junko. Yo. Chico. Check the shopping, man. What's your secret?
Haven't you heard of the parish development model PDM?
Yes, I did, but I thought it was just a talk.
No, Sebatia. It is real. I and a few friends together formed a circle, accessed money from the PDM, invested in a portrait project, and now things are moving.
Junko. I thought I was one of your friends.
You are.
But you left me behind.
I didn't leave you in poverty. What you do, just visit your LC2 chairperson and your parish chief, and start the process of economic transformation. Just like that. The parish development model is an initiative from the government of Uganda through the Ministry of Local Government, designed to transform all lives of Ugandans for the better.
PDM, my parish, my development, my life.
Live from UPC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Watching Good Morning Uganda Friday special. Well, when it gets to a few minutes to 9, best believe Nzengeya Soma, my time is almost done. My weekend starts at 9 in the morning. So I'm just saying, but of course the band is here and I'm just going to briefly get to know them, their names and which instrument they're playing. Some look obvious, some are not. Like I know there are very many types of guitars, so I don't know if they have the electric one and the other ones that could be there. But I'm going to start with my right. And I'm going to try and see how he's doing this morning. He's going to tell us his name and the instrument he's playing. Is it a piano? Is it a keyboard? You know, there's always ways they differentiate those things. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm doing well.
What is your name and which instrument are you playing for us today?
I'm Mark and I'm doing the keys today.
Is that a piano, a keyboard? It is
a keyboard.
What's the difference?
The difference is it's a keyboard and the other one is a piano.
Okay, I think for today we'll just go with that. I hope you're doing well this morning.
I'm doing very great. We're here with Suka Alpha and the band.
Alpha and the band. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Your name, please, and the instrument you're playing.
Timothy Solo.
Timothy Solo. Which instrument is that you're holding?
I play electric guitars called solo guitar.
Solo guitar. So what's the difference between your guitar and his guitar?
It's a lead guitar, it's a bass guitar and bass.
So they are differentiated according to the sound?
What?
Are they differentiated according to the sound?
Yeah.
Oh, great. Now I've learned something to take home today. Okay. Your name and the instrument you're playing?
My name is Alan. I play bass guitar.
Bass guitar. Now I know that they come with different sounds. Okay, thank you so much, Alan.
Yes, hello guys, my name is Zach. I play drums.
Yeah, and this morning I was talking about the drums he's playing. They are rather redefined. Of course, we've seen them over time, and I was just asking him, if it weren't for the advancement in technology, how many drums would he be having on set this morning? And well, he told me very many of them, and I was wondering, now that he doesn't have which drums to distinguish where to play, how does he even know that this one sounds like a ngalabi, this one sounds like the other big drum? Anyways, I guess with the help of technology. But maybe you can briefly tell us how you differentiate the different sounds on that set of yours.
Yes, I actually have I have buttons that I used to set. Each pad tastes different. It has a different sound. So this is a snare. I tune it to the tone I want. This one is a tom. These ones are samples, just
great
to spice up.
Okay, thank you so much, Zach. Well, something to learn this morning. Well, back to you, Suka Alpha. How are you feeling this morning once again?
I'm just feeling great.
Feeling great. I was listening to some of the songs that I think I would rather call it ministering.
Yeah.
The songs you were ministering, and I was like, yeah, if we continue to pay attention to the lyrics we put out, we are going to the right place. So how do we get Suka and the band?
Okay, you can find Suka via all the digital platforms. On TikTok, it's Suka Alpha 8. On Facebook, it's Alpha Suka. On YouTube, still Alpha Suka. On Instagram, Alpha Suka 1. On Twitter, Alpha Suka. Then still even on my WhatsApp, Alpha Suka.
Great. Yeah. Thank you so much, Suka and the band, for making some time to come be with us this weekend. Well, like I said, not so much. It's time for me to go enjoy my weekend. I wish you a very wonderful one. Till we meet again, that is on Monday. And of course, the Christmas season is here. The colors, you can see them. But also, please do take good care of yourselves. We'll meet on Monday.
Thank you. Let's go.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen.
One more time. Panirira chitange siwanikanga. Siwanikanga kuluno lugendo ndino kutuka. Ndino kutuka. Cause nobody can hold me the way you do. Oh na na na. Nobody can bless me the way you do. Hey. Ndabayo, hey yo chotwana nengera yo. Ndabayo, ndabayo, chifu byenyo tukeyo. Ndabayo, hey yo chotwana nengera yo. Ndabayo, chifu byenyo tuke. Ndabayo, listen, show me. No more turning back. Sikubulungi bonnozezzaako mukama kulabyeko ng'okolera balala nga owalinyisa amadala ng'omuyaga gunyenya yamba nsobola obutayuguuma nga bwenyimirira ng'ebigemo byeyongera yamba nsobola okubiwangula nga bwenguma washi nlengera akalaga tessuubi weeriri lengera akalaga tessuubi weeriri nabayo eyo gyotwana nengerayo ndabayo kyesifu byenyo tukeyo ndabayo eyo gyotwana nengerayo ndabayo kyesifu byenyo tukeyo ndabayo. Break it down. Ladies and gentlemen, as I'm winding up this session, I want to send my greetings to my family, my Mama Florence, Baby Florence, my pastor Hayat Ruhoeza, my friend Karik from the Municipal Chira. Thank you for always supporting me, standing by my side. And I love you all the people who have been supporting Auntie Susan. Can't forget you, Daddy Dennis. Thank you so much for believing in me. Yeah. Give me those keys. Listen. Show. Panirira chitange siwanikanga. Siwanikanga. Kuluno lugendo ndino kutuka. Ndino kutuka. Cause nobody can hold me the way you do. Oh na na na. Nobody can bless me the way you do. Hey, nabayo, hey yo chotwala nengera yo. Nabayo, chesifu byenyo tukeyo. Nabayo, hey yo chotwala nengera yo. Nabayo Timo, nabayo, give me the solo. Wash it. Tikabula katya kutuke ngana manyito lingolera ye. Rewind it. This is my latest song. It's called Tiny Limit. God has no limit. In the book of Ephesians chapter 3 verse 20 says, God is able to do more than exceedingly. Mukama gotweza talina limit. Nga mpereza n'oluyimba gy'oli. Manya ebizibu byonna bigenda kuggwa. Buli kimu ekibadde kikuta kigenda kuta. My band, let's rewind it. Selector! Oh na 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 na. Talina limit. I say, ntikabula katya kudduka ngana limanyito linkolera. So, ntikabula katya mpanike ngana limanyito linnyanukula. Naye nasula ekyamanzi abakozesa tomalaga kwama. Naye nasula amasimanzi yokola nti byo tebikoma. Ondetedde okutegera oli Katonda talemwa atalina limiti. Ondetedde okutegera oli Katonda talemwa atalina limiti. Kati mpeereza nnyo atalina tilimiti. Mpeereza nnyo oyo atalina tilimiti. Listen, show. Kwantambuza nga mlipulira manyi zani awereza gwe kirimanyi ebintu byakusota jegere ku kagaali yani alinga gwe kirimanyi. To you the God of abundance ampa mukiso kutali bwi. Let's come and sit together. To you the God of abundance ampa mukiso kutali ko bunkenke. Ti ombikulide ompaniride matemulinjulide. Ombikulide ompaniride matemulinjulide. Onyedde okutegera oli Katonda talemwa atalina limiti ondedde okutege oli katonda talemwa atalina limiti kati mpeereza nyoyo. Give me the keys atalina mpeereza. Give me the keys. Now this is dedicated to Titus Kutesa. Give me those keys. Since I was born again, I couldn't live to sing this anthem. Listen. Chop, tize ndimulo kole, misana nechiro ndimulo kole. Nze Yesu tanswaza, newe kuba mbongo era nsika nze ndimulo kole, misana nechiro ndimulo kole. I can't deny it, I can never. Listen, show. Tinjogera katono na yenga nkamininga. I keep on smiling era ngambimininga. Kiriza byange kubanga mbigenderera. Tesenesize yebiganye mbiwininga. Tikatonda yanjagala ne bafune nsara. Tikatonda yanjagala ne bafune nsara. Listen, yasokera nasana era yali mukazi wa Damasiko sesanga tisamanya kyabawulera nasanga baketrinsi nga bamukwana wenaveeyo yatomera laneke kuba yawulira kyali yakolamu ebisente sikulimba ebintu bizibu mpulira bagamba eri bulamu ye yamusoka mash oli fixa ona kikwatamu ekisoda sitaba emikolo wagirinyamu tinagendako ewuweeru namusanga munzikiza titangamba takolagana namusana kubanje yali yona kizikiza okuteeka ketala kandobo emusi show nti ayagala byanzikiza tayagala musana newe mugamba nalokoka ayagala balokole nti omukwano gw'abalo ate nga baserebu ayagala balokole kirabike ya mutima palapola karakukasemba kikasa ki okulya seno nofirwa omwoyo gwo atakalokoka ebintu byeseno bikwawo tebikujja katonda wo wandiba nga tolina kayumba nga tolina kamotoka nga tolina kasente ebintu bya mukama byamaanyi byamusana bibakwalali tokoka ng'obudde tebunagenda muganda wange ondetedde okutegeera nti oli katonda talemwa atalina limiti ondetedde okutegeera oli katonda talemwa atalina limiti kati mpeereza nyoyo natirimiti atalina tirimiti ompeereza nyo atalina sabene. Atalina tirimiti, umpereza nyoyo atalina tirimiti. Talina limiti.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Of the day on UBC.
One-on-one with Michael Jordan Lukomwa.
A weekly face-to-face conversation focusing on accountability, inspiration, information, and sensitization of the public from the various sources.